Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Essentials TF. It's week 2 of season 48 of the European Team Fortress 2 League. We're here back in the Premiership division, back for some more action in the top flight. Joining me, we've got Stu on the production, and we've got Dum Tum here joining me on the cast. How are you doing, Dum Tum?
Pretty good. I am very interested how this matchup will go here. We have some teams with some storylines ahead of them here. 4 fans on one side, Garda Panteri on the other side.
Yeah, it should be a good one. These two teams, I think in the last couple of seasons they've played in week 7 and had like big playoff implications in it, but it's going to be early this time. But like you say, it should be quite interesting with the stories. Both these teams coming off the back of pretty heavy losses in their first week fixtures, so looking to bounce back and get some points on the board early on.
Yeah, certainly. It's been very different start here for fans and Garda. Both might have not exactly won their matches last week, but given the way the game went so far this season, for fans looked pretty impressive last week, even if they came out unfortunately little in terms of points. Garda, on the other hand, no contest for them. They had a good season last season, snuck into playoffs as well. Did get a win over the second place team eventually as well before they bowed out to get them in playoffs. However, this season, starting off against a strong New Panther, did make them look very weak right away here. Could not really get much started on the back for basically the entire game. And once they had the upper hand for the short time they did in the first match, it didn't really amount too much. Got a really short big time now against the Frenchies who, I mean, with the loss at hand, need a win really badly, but looked pretty good at least so far.
Yeah, we say they lost that first game. They did go to Golden Cap on Metalworks, and that did get them 1 point. And at the end of the day, they were playing the reigning champions in Bandem, and yes, they looked good. It was Golden Cap on map 1, and then it was 3-2 on Products in map 2. But we can stop the tournament, and we can start the tournament. Sunshine is the first map of this one. We've got Garda Panteri over in the red, and we've got 4 fans in their traditional blue colours as we get underway for this first mid-fight.
Alright, well, interested to see how this will go. Minor changes for both rosters from last season. We'll see if these new additions can help them fight this one out. Like you said, it's been interesting games for them in the past, much later down in the season. Starting off now in week 2, you have the first matchup of the week. We'll see who can come out with big damage right away on the flank here. The bomb on the medic does good damage, but can't find the finishing touch. Demon on the flip side tries to do the same. Neither medic just yet going down, but Condor murking here for the side of Garda. Really weak right away. It's gonna make this dangerous.
Yawn in!
Hide a little bit, bomb on the medic is so weak. There we go. Yarden finds the clean up big stuff from the Turk. Second kill onto QB as well. And Garda coming out on top so far.
Yawn just seemed completely unaccounted for there inside enemy cafe and just got round all the way behind everyone, just nobody looking at all, and yeah, sneaks up instantly, gets onto Ruler, and that is 100% advantage for the Merc Medic of Condog and the red team of Garda Panteri. They're coming up second now and they're looking odds on to maybe get a first round on the board.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do with this one. Other new addition for this lineup, of course, being Yawn and Jux on the side of Garda Panteri. They still have a Swedish Soldier, I suppose. Juxta obviously replacing Utka here as well. I suppose the colors of the flag on that end still the same, but we'll see if that new lineup here will help into the last pushes that they struggled with so far in the past. And coming in here with an Uber advantage like this one should help a lot. That's the scout on point. Really good stuff. Demon with 0 damage onto the point. Yawn cleans up from there. Brilliant stuff by Garda. Clean last push, exactly like you want to see textbook stuff.
Yeah, fantastic stuff, and especially like, I will say they were basically going in 6v5, which does help things a bit, because Brugeman was going for a bit of a big flank around on mid, but just didn't make it back in time. We were just entering top right as the point was getting capped up. It was a couple of seconds too late on that one. But yeah, what a start. And like you say, there's been a couple of times in the past where Garda have struggled on this last point, particularly on Sunshine, and yeah, getting one on the board early on has got to be a big confidence boost for them as we get ready for this second mid, as spam are already being exchanged. Teams looking to go for this clockwise mid again, but Yawn once more hiding in cafe. This time has been jumped though and is going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, there we go. Bushman finds that pretty easily. Rest of the team just pushing up Cafe, trying to take some space wherever they can. Red team is still the ones going pretty aggressive overall here, trying to move on them early, but is it working out? Juxta behind, that's what they were waiting on the entire time. And the secret 7th Frenchman on the server is setting them up for success. Maybe you should have never let him go.
Yeah, maybe not over though. Demul going to try and get in onto Shappy and onto Condog here in this red cafe, and yeah, getting blasted away. Yawn going to be there for the defensive. Is able to, just buy some space, buy some time as the Uber charge is going to get up to this 90% mark now. It's going to be a bit of cap time going the way of 4 fences. Demul is just getting cleaned up now, meaning that, it's going to be... They're fearing, they're so far back in choke, they're going to be so careful. They're scared of players hiding out on mid, but there's no one here. 4 fences just buying their time, just getting themselves set up.
That's maybe the other storyline that we can't forget about. Should have a results-based one, given how last week went for them. Both teams with some question to answer, I suppose, even if it was losses against top teams. But there is the storyline. The Jugster is just against his former team here as well. His former teammates that he has to fight up against as well. It'll be interesting to see how they can deal with that for now. The obvious choices that they took to replace, of course, on the side of the franchise are the new additions of Limon and Vola, both very, very experienced players, very accomplished players, I should say as well. So, I mean, on their part, on the new additions part, they have high expectations on this lineup. When starting off with a loss already rough, as close as it might have been, already behind against Garda, a team that is sort of a playoffs fighters the last few seasons, right? Always hovering 5th, 4th place whenever they're around in Premiership. I'm sure the franchise have much higher expectations on this matchup than sitting here at 1 hour on their own last point.
Yeah, it could have been worse though. They did buy time pretty well on mid, but they're going to have to buy some more time now as the bombs are coming in onto last already. Yawn going to fake that one away and get caught with the traps and dungeons, so never mind. Well dealt with the Pirate Air Blast doing its job, but yeah, well played by Forfeit on the build-up to this, because obviously losing your medics so late on mid meant that, you know, there's so much extra add over on Kondo. You have to hold for what, 50 or so seconds by the time you've got the spawner and built it up, and yeah, the constant threats and the like slow retreat was enough. But now this is where the real test is for Garda. We've seen them struggle in these positions before, just in these even Uber situations. You said last week as well, they had various problems like this over on Snake and Sunshine. It's potentially slightly easier to get in, but it's not much so. There's a pyro to deal with, there's a gun to deal with, and there's plenty of spam, plenty of traps as well. So it's going to be a hard one as the soldiers go in again.
Yeah, plenty of pressure for Yawn to make it work. He can't quite get in. He's also on his first team in the Premiership, I think, after a pretty strong showing in Div 1 last season with Yak and his team, who made new roster without the suite, of course. Both still moved to Premiership this season nonetheless, so that's also going to be coming up in the next few weeks, a matchup of teammates of former seasons going up against each other whenever that matchup's happening. But now Yawn obviously as the debutant here, with a lot to prove, I suppose, as well. And the big shoes to fill. Griggs had a pretty good showing in the past, of course. Certainly a player that's been around for a lot longer as well, I want to say. So it's going to be interesting what they can do here. I will say last week, But tried to get the most out of the base jumper whenever he could. But I don't know if this last one's really where that can happen. He's up in the sky. There's no time to hang around in the sky. All that gun's making short crosses of anyone above it.
Yeah, nice attempt there in the double cycle with Yon going down so early there, and the pyro is just so hard to get through. There's flames everywhere, there's air blasts all over the place. You get physically pushed away. You just can't get near this enemy medic, and yeah, Mula is just completely safe in this gun with all the defense forces sat around. And yeah, it's going to be maybe a tough nut to crack over on this offense side. Half the time has almost ticked down already, and Garda not really having a good stab at it so far.
I will say at least they're trying a bit more actively than they did last week. So there's that much. It was Snakewater, which does make it easier, but it's not exactly the freest one here to go free, but they can already certainly attest to at this point as well. Yon didn't even get close at the end as well. Matt sitting nice and safe in the backlines. And I think that's... You can argue about the quality of the Nuke roster, that they played being better maybe overall, but I think just defensively the Nuke roster really just made them run into a wall all game, be it on mid or on last, whenever Garda had any chance to make a move. And if the Frenchies can channel some of that and just have good defensive play all around, then maybe Garda will struggle the same direction. It's just a matter of picking up momentum from there on the Frenchies that they need to do from here, because the mid-fight still leaves something to be desired. Yeah,
absolutely. That's the thing. If you're hanging your own last like this, the one thing you're hoping for is that round reset and you can just have a go at mid. But their first two mids have not gone too well, and there's now a double bomb coming back in once more. Actually, Bud gets in so close onto Mula, but is not able to land the all-important rocket. In the meantime, the gun is taken down. There's potentially an opportunity to go for some more spam, trying to go for some more pressure before this gun gets rebuilt up, and Juxta is going to take this opportunity to run all the way through this far left-hand side, but he's going to have to back out through the dungeon again as Yon goes down to the revenge crits on that sentry gun. So there was a moment, there was a chance, but it's so hard, like I say, getting in at Sunshine last, and yeah, well
someone's going all the way back to spawn though, yeah, then we'll see what we can do here as well. Very late to pick up a sniper, obviously.
1 minute.
If you hit the shot, it doesn't matter, but you really do have to know the pressure's on for the Turkish riflemen. We'll see if they can deliver, but I'm sure the Frenchies, well versed in the situation, won't make this easy at all. Pyro just standing close, hoping to reflect some funny rockets as well. Maybe spots the sniper a bit earlier this way around as well. The first shot is the one that has a price factor, and it's the first one that will miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, and with Mulas that's so far behind, the pillar is going to obstruct vision from that far side, so he's going to have to pick some soldiers, pick some demo men, just picks to try and open up more space. But as that timer ticks down, 40 seconds left, it's going to be really touch and go if you have time to really do too much with this. Doomul going to be jumping over as well. He's just going to stuff it out completely, and Alan just can't find a shot, just can't find any heads popping in front of that sniper scope. And yeah, it must be frustrating because timer now ticks down to 25 seconds, and they've got to go if they're going to go.
Certainly. Time is running out. Frenchies with no qualms about sitting here a little bit longer if they have to. There we go, that's a nice one. Engineer down, that makes the gun go down easier as well. Good damage by Yawn on the flank. Can't get very far as well. Bomb comes through. But going for the sack play now. I think you have to go for the exchange at this point as well. It's too late for a sack because the Frenchies can just use and get you off the point and they will get this back no matter what. Garda just with very different priorities than to what the timer requires.
I like Yalin's sniper, I like the idea of it. With 1 minute left, like even if the exchange comes in and goes great, you've still got a sniper in that post, Uber, and it's not exactly ideal for them. And yeah, going to be punished, going to be going back to the mid-fight. But like we said earlier, these mid-fights have been pretty good over from the Garda side. Mula has gone down on both of the previous two, and Condog has had pretty good longevity on them. So we'll see if this one pans out the same, see if the Forfend side they're going to cook up anything different.
Yeah, it's on the Frenchies now to do better on this midpoint. Early damage already puts them in the corner. Ubla on 50 health. The bomb's coming through, but wants this kill, but is gonna get it. No chance for the medic to escape on this one, but there is a lot of people following through in the wake of that sack attempt there. They got the medic, not much else. Medic in a bit of trouble here. Jarlen does what one man can, but Condog eventually left alone against two here, trying to get back to spawn, and that's not the way back to spawn either.
Yeah, this is kind of they're low HP. They're so low HP, but the thing is, Nevo is just going to come in behind and show they clean this one up. But actually, no, the spawners and every time Juxter and Yorn are in. How on earth does Condor get out of that one alive? I was thinking, yo, maybe the killbind's coming out in a second, but they're so weak over on the Garda chasing, the chasing pack, and yeah, they just can't get it. And Condog is going to have a 70% Uber ad to come for this. And yeah, obviously the building wasn't ideal, sat running around in dungeon by himself, but he gets out alive through absolutely miraculous circumstances.
I mean, I feel bad not praising a medic for survivability there, but that was the Frenchies' kill to give away, and they just let it go to waste. Mula now still behind on the Uber, trying to hold on to the midpoint at least, finally maybe get some map control. A couple of attempts are coming through to take position on the flank, so just sneaking through there, Dimul going all over, Bushman actually dives at the back, and that is enough threat for Garda to call it quits. They just don't like the chance to get double wrapped around by the soldiers, let it go back a second. I mean, miraculously holding the point by now.
Oh, and Bruiser might be getting even more as well. Is in through onto Condog and gets the drop. Absolute madness. Was alive for so long on that platform, but just could not be taken down by the scouts and the other defensive classes there. Condog, yeah, you don't want to be forced there against one soldier who's alive for so long and goes down with Uber in hand. So the tables have turned completely. Mula now with 100% advantage, and Forfence starting the walk in onto this second point. Can they get it quickly? Can they get it with enough time? And it seems like Shappy is the only one really even having a look in onto this second point. So advantage to Forfence here. See if they can get their equalizer.
I mean, you put it exactly right. There should not be universal Condog has used, so that sort of should be dying a lot faster. But then it ended up happening, and the drop will cost them all together now, regardless of whose fault it might be. They're sitting on last together. They build this critical threat if they can. Condog likes this option of the defensive crits, of course, coming up last second, but they gotta at least hold on for that long as well. No one's dying early, which is good news, but the cap gun is there, and it's pushed people back to spawn for long enough to matter. They're getting point Forfence on the board.
Yeah, good conversion there from Forfence, just taking so much space. And yes, Condor really wants to get that crit, so but people have to fall back to keep the beam up. You really want to keep their medic alive, but they just gave up so much ground there on Garda, and yeah, the point cap comes through, and that crits is still only at about 85%, was still a fair few seconds away from coming up, and yeah, really cleanly taken, and that's the bounce back you really need if you're on Forfence. I was worried after that mid when they couldn't chase down Condog that they'd maybe be in a bit of trouble again, but really good turn of aggression there from that, getting their first round on the board as now. See if
Denny takes a beating.
Straight down.
Just lost the 1v1. It's rare to see a demo fight actually turn out that quickly, so decisively, but every once in a while someone just makes a big mistake. Delhi don't want to do it. It's surprising, if not very, very costly now as well. The other side, they have to still push up against 5, but without the demo man again, that's a lot of damage that they're lacking on the blue side, and the Frenchies have to be very careful there, but looks like they have Choke under control. The main area that was contested by Garda, trying to be quick, is without the demo man still heavily damaged enough, spammed down early to not let them in too easily here as well, but they're trying again.
Yeah, may as well go again now. They've healed back up again, but yeah, the damage before was just enough to keep Shappy uninterested. But now the real bomb coming in from Yorn over from this far side on the valley flank, but it's going to go down to stickies from Delhi as Trey comes out 1-4. The Uber charge even used out actually from Condog onto Yarlin, who's just going to try right in behind. The collapse is in now. Condog not long for this world either. It's going to be how many players can get out alive, how many of these 4th players can just sort of hunker down, turtle up, and stay hold of this second point. Jarlin's still on the flank. He's actually going to win out the fight against Brugman, and in the meantime, Jux has taken out Delhi, so never mind. Garda are still in this fight, and they're still in it in a big way. They're getting their Condog spawner in just a few more seconds. Mula is, yes, still alive, but only on 30% Uber, and only joined by 2 classes in this lobby area. They're going to have to run back to last. That was a great post-fight there from Garda.
Yeah, they had player behind. The scouts did great work as well, and 4th was kind of stuck between wanting to be in and out. Demoman was for the rest of the team really far back. Couldn't fight both fights at once, it looks like. Lost on both rounds just a little bit. Puts them back on last. Now, frankly, we've been here before, and Garda has not exactly been the threat they would like to think they are maybe on the last points this season, but I mean, you can't keep giving people chances like this.
No, absolutely. It will work eventually, and yeah, if they're going to go for some sack players, some sniper players, eventually one of them will just go perfectly, so you don't want to risk that if you're over on the 4th side. We'll see what they're going to go for. Last time, again, they spent, 4 minutes sacking soldiers and then went for a sniper for 1 minute. I'd be interested to see if they go for the off-class early this time, or if they go for anything different, like a banner maybe. I know last time Utka Love came up on heavy in these situations, but obviously Utka not on the roster anymore, so maybe that one's out of the playbook for this one. But we'll see now as the pressure starts coming in. They're really trying to get onto this gun, but again, the pyro is so oppressive.
Certainly. I mean, hey, Dux is a man of many classes. Plays scout, plays medic. It's to say that we don't have anything in the playbook beyond that as well. But for now, it is the old-fashioned way. Walker scout on left. We have this sort of happen at the same time to jump in. I don't know if it gets very far. And I fully agree with you, though. We need to see different stuff out of Garda. But whatever happened the last 5 minutes wasn't it. Maybe an earlier sniper is what we're seeing right now. Yeah, when a scout walks in that early in a push like this, it's not unlikely. So it's hardly unexpected, even without a spy check. You gotta see this coming. Exactly the guy that sniped before decides to play that recklessly as well. Demol's just making sure of it right now. But I am pretty sure they know what's coming here. The question is if they can deal with it in time. Demol would be the one to fight the sniper if sniper if given the chance. We'll see if he will, and it looks like not for now.
Yeah, last time they didn't really need it. They just sort of stayed out of the way of the sniper and, yeah, just all turtled around behind the pillar around this sentry gun. And, yeah, Demol is going to be jumping in, just trying to do some spam. And we've got, obviously, Delhi as well with traps, trying to help out in that regard. But actually, it's not the traps and not the soldiers that are doing the damage, because it's the sentry gun. Again, QB getting a kill there over onto Shapian. It's actually got a potential for 2 more crits if he really wants it. If he really wants to deconstruct that gun and get the 2 extra crits, the option is there. But maybe that's a bit risky.
Oh yeah, doesn't need to take the risks right now too much. We're just barely past halfway through the map here. Not the time to call for desperate measures, especially if the side of offense at the very least can sit here well, relax for a little bit longer and just take it easy. Don't have to punish anyone for anything silly too much just yet, as long as they keep themselves safe. A little preemptive damage towards the sniper is maybe all they need. Keep Jarlin in check here. Still gotta watch out on the other side though as well. Maybe they can find a bomb in the meantime, but it's just gonna be really, really difficult. And Garda has not been showering in success on these last punches yet.
Yeah, this Pyro Soldier duo with the gun has just completely made this like top right area is a complete no-go zone. There's no entry at all there. It's all going to have to be from the crate side, where the sniper of Jarlin is currently positioned. But Demon is doing such a good job of just sort of bombing in and bombing back out again, just making sure that they can't step forward too far. But actually, that's the doorway open.
For how long? Ooh, big one. Delhi hits it, Yon cannot. 1-for-1 there as well. Demo and Bushman keep circling around the doorway here, keeping turns on who gets the sniper. This time around, Yarden will die, but 2 down each. Maybe Garda just takes the space. The lack of soldiers is giving them, even with the damage lacking on their part as well. Demo on the other side still from the combo away from the rest of the team. That does enough. Gun will go down. They've taken a lot of space. Can they follow up on this is the question. Soldier tries. Desperate as they are as well. Muller dodges the place for so long.
Oh, Nevo as well doing great work. The conch bomb was in though from Bud, and it nearly got the big reward there over onto Mula, but Mula somehow stays alive, so I'm able to juke into the little cubby, and Uber charges
one more bomb comes through for Scouts on the other
but
side,
actually this time it lands.
The fall damage claims that the Scouts just looked at him scarily, and they were maybe able to clean this up as well. The Uber onto point, struggling to really kill anything though. Demon with the first kill on this last one, no heals. Hurts the long game here a lot. Bard in the backline sneaking in there, but gets spotted early, couldn't do a ton of damage. Muller up again as well, needs to really get some quick heals in here, but it looks like we might have the time for that. And somehow Garda still cannot do it.
Yeah, they lost 2 players for that drop, which, yeah, it is a drop, but they had the Uber to use, and they just could not get the damage. Like you say, they didn't find any kills in that Uber. They honestly didn't get a great deal of positioning either out of it. They were all sort of caught behind the point. It was not nice to watch at all from their side. But the one thing they do have is that Condog did live. They do still have a tiny bit of advantage here. I'll say tiny, 40%. They can come in with one last ad push. There's 19 seconds, but that will go into overtime if they're able to get some time on the point. They're going to look using in straight through top right.
Yeah, bomb comes in, gun down right away here. All eyes on the cap now. They want to get early cap time here. Everyone's stacking on it. They get ×4 and shoot Zero out of the sky before he can block it all. Sneaking away with this one. Garda's last push is sketchy as they are. If you give them 5 minutes, something will stick.
Yeah, it worked out eventually, and despite maybe that round should have been about a minute less long than it was, they make it work at the end. And yeah, really nice overcharge.
Pressure's on the Frenchies, right? These last pushes keep not being great, but they're the ones losing. They still had one actual chance so far. They're stuck on the backwood for so long. They're just making really big mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had 19 minutes this game so far, and 10 of them have been sat over on that 4th last point. And now, with 10 more minutes left to play, it's going to be what can they get on this mid-fight, and not too much. By the looks of things, Yawn waking up, landing straight over towards enemy choke, able to take down Mula, and Delhi falling. In the meantime, Brugman going to try and come in for a salvage play onto Kondo, but Kondo looks so safe. Unless the scout is able to do any good work, nope, not going to be the way. Brugman goes down to full wipe on the mid for 4th, and like you said before, these mid fights weren't good, and that might be the worst one yet. Everyone going down.
I mean, you gotta change something, but this is not the change we're talking about here on 4th. They need something else, and fact of the matter is now Garda has the lead. Now taking your time on us was still not great. It's just taking time away from 4th to run away with the game in the end still as well, so maybe sitting here for another 5 minutes isn't that bad as long as you keep the mid-fights looking as they are from here on out on Garda's end of the way. Maybe now instead of choking it becomes the Dark Arts at some point.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Last time in this exact situation, just mere minutes ago, we had a really good bomb in from Shappy and a really good Uber to follow. But this time we're going for the far left-hand side, bomb straight in onto the gun from Shappy, who's caught in the Uber charge on the way back through. Lots of damage over towards his right-hand spawn as well. Brugman on the point, trying to defend it as long as they can. They've got the cap time for now, but so many players trapped in spawn, Bud doing massive amounts of damage. But the Uber charge is able to come back in. Mula gets it just in time, and the sweep up comes through. Nevo, great work in that post-fight, and 4th they hang on for just long enough.
That was really clutch stuff by Delhi as well. I think he did like a full 180 at one point to get 2 kills in quick succession. Really great stuff after the earlier mid fight where he got mighty destroyed. Looks like maybe the mental is back in it as well, but again, this needs to be quick rounds as well, and frankly, these guys should be capable of this. The expectations are high, I think not just on themselves, but also by a lot of French people watching, I would imagine as well, that would like to see the guys succeed. But the second point is immediately in great danger. Solders down early, high bombs coming through. Everyone just tries to escort them back to last and maybe get them into spawn a little sooner than that. Can only get 3, but that's still 3 players, no explosions on the field for quite some time. The early entry is in the cards as well, and if there's a chance to get them down early, get this advantage back in their hand, now is the time.
Yeah, there's 2 soldier spawners, but I think they'll be spawning in time. They're just about go onto the point to block it out, but look how much cap time there is, and they both go down. Kondog's still in there, arrowing everyone towards the point. There's still a threat, and even if the Uber charge gets forced out of Ruler, if Kondog can get out alive, it's a win for Garda, and they're able to do so. Everyone else, look at the HP over there on the red. They're all able to get out alive, and Kondog now with a massive advantage. And players spawning up too, looking so good for a 3rd Garda round. But again, we've been here before minutes ago. They've got to convert the last push.
Connacht did the right route, though. He was never really in, so he didn't have to go very far to get back out again. He just sat in the doorway, arrowed some people, and just the second there was anything happening, he just dipped instantly. He knew exactly. At worst, it has to be the force, nothing else. It's exactly that. And that's all they might need here. It certainly looked good a second ago of quite advantage, and now's the time to execute off of that as well. Gun in the back, stays alive for quite a while, which means no captain for a long time on the start push as well. Scout sneaks in there eventually. A couple people can block in time as well, but they're all going down pretty quickly. One last effort, maybe at least squeeze the back kill out and just keep them locked on last. But not even that will happen. Difference is, not quite, luckily, QB can get that kill. Problem is though as well, this has to be quick the other way around of offense. They are taking a chance quite early before the spawns come up. They need to as well. They can't sit on last anymore. That time is long going with 7 minutes left in the round down as well. They have to actually start the initiative now as well. And for how much they held last pretty valiantly for most of this game as well. Holding last with 2-1 scoreline is not where you want to be.
No, absolutely not. And with Ad coming into mid as well, it's definitely something they're going to want to push the issue with. Yarlin spotted out in forward spot on that sniper now, but that's not the only threat. There's traps everywhere. There's soldiers bombing into. Bud is maybe just about going to get out alive. No, stripped up by QB. Nice take there, 4-4 fence. They're able to start pushing through. Maybe they can get in through under second, but Condog is at 90%. He's maybe going to get in time.
They're taking their chance here on the French side. I mean, I guess they have to as well, but yeah, Uber up in time. I mean, Cap mid yet as well, but might even get the forward one, still have the heavies in anyway, but Uber can't chase a lot. Debo barely caught as well. That's kind of weak, but I don't think anyone takes a chance to get onto the Condor kill there by the looks of it. So, for fans, not with a bad result of the Uber, but again, it still needs a step better than this to really get some results.
Yeah, because I know that the use was slightly later there on the Garda side, but it is going to be roughly even in terms of Ubers. But Bud is going to start pushing in. They want to go on this. Garda are in. They're all the way flying through. Brugeman is in onto Condog as well, who's ducking and weaving, but is going to go down to Brugeman there over in the red cafe. And that means now Forfen's massive advantage in the bag at 2 soldiers down. There's almost no threat. They can just start walking through the cafe for free. And this is a bit of a gift from Garda.
Maybe so, but so it's not done yet. Even tying this up won't really win you much of anything just yet. They want all 3 points, I'm sure of it, and there is still enough time to do that just for now. Really can't choke this one on last. Gunners up, snipers up, trying everything they can on Garda to hold this one together. They got even a lower area, just hoping it gets spotted late maybe. For whatever that might be worth as well. And Condor back on the quick streak as well, should that come up to matter. I didn't last time, but we'll see. Frenchie's in on last, spot the gun pretty quickly. No damage onto the demo window of this one as well, and into spawn they disappear. Have Jan on duty on point as well. Quickly taken care of there as well. Nice air blast though, but quickly traded out just the same. Heavy soldier in the back. Devilman with this as well. Quickly coming out, and they might not even need it.
Yeah, they get the frags regardless of the crit screen. The crit screen is still 5% away, but Shafi is being an absolute beast.
No, they popped it anyway. Oh, they had this in the back.
Shafi is gonna go down as well. Oh dear me.
That's a Devilman gun that you'd gladly have right now, but let's see what we can do with this one. This is so awkward for Condor now. I mean, popping their panic crit squeak is never a good choice anyway. If you ever drop, it might as well be a crit squeak. There's nothing too safe there usually. Rare exception, and this is certainly not that one as well. Popped on a heavy with a Demoman way away out of danger for the medic, and having to even switch around now is just putting them so far further back on you as well.
And with all these off classes always making building slightly harder, Bud is going to have to be all the way back there with the pickaxe. Condog up to 70%, but it's 70%. Not 100% as the Uber comes in. Big advantage for Jelly, for Moolah as the bomb's coming across the point. Now, can they take it? Can they get some cap time? Gord going to try and make that not the case. Trying to block onto the point, but the soldiers are in and Forfens are in with the equalising round. And like you say, that crit screen pop, it could have been so useful in that post Uber because the stock Uber just didn't build in time.
Yeah, just too late here in the end, just too late on point as well. A little bit faster on the cap time this turn around by Forfens as well. Got that started a lot sooner, and with how close people were to the point end, and certainly those small margins do matter, and this game's gonna come down to small margins at this point. 4 minutes left before we might have to go into overtime. Not a lot to play for still. As 3-point swings are certainly a lot more attractive looking right now than having to go overtime and settle with 2 potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to start with a good mid-fight, and Moolah has already taken a big sticky bomb across, and Bud is a heat-seeking missile straight in onto the medic, who's actually able to surf out all the way. Moolah lives, but how many teammates do live? Not too many, just Nevo. And Nevo and Moolah are going to be running all the way back out. Great aggression there from the Garda side. Again, these mids have been phenomenal from them, and they're going to reap the rewards once more. 3 minutes left to play, just take an enemy second. Yes, it's even Ubers, but you can't ask for much more in a final mid-fight.
The question is now, who's gonna take the risk here? Well, both teams, certainly with 3 minutes left, still have a chance at least. Especially with how quick the previous round went from last to last by Forfens. There's still a chance for both sides to get into the last points, get around proper, and just wrap this thing up without having to worry about what happens after 30 minutes. Not worrying about any tight scoreline after regular time, but it looks like it is Garda, and surprisingly the one's taking more of a chance here as well. It remains to be seen if Forfens dares out the last much though.
Well, this is the exact same sack we saw before where Yarlin went over onto Sniper. I'm interested to see if that comes out again because there's still, 2 minutes left. There's still plenty of time for that if they decide to go for it. And yes, they do. Yarlin, with the Sniper rifle, had some decent success last time. Obviously not finding any of the massive picks over onto Demo Medic, but finding, I believe, a couple of soldier killers last time round. Just sort of opens doorways, removes those spam classes, lets you get more space, the rest of your team to get in, and Yeah, it's a hard map to snipe into, but Yarlin did a decent job before. But with a 2-minute timer on this, it's maybe a bit of a rush.
It's a rush from the one side here. The French is certainly happy playing the clock right now. The Dark Arts are coming out. Anything they can do to just slow this down, any capacity is coming out in full force. Gun Pyro sitting on last here, just hoping to survive on at least a overtime scoreline for now. Not where I expected this game to be going for sure, but at this point, I mean, it's the least they can hope for on 4 fans.
Yeah, well, it seems that Buddy's just going to walk all the way in the waddle bomb straight onto point, just giving all some space. Decides just to take it for free, but a bit of damage. But that is all that walk is going to earn him as he goes back to the respawn queue. A bit more smart in Devo, taken fairly weak on the Pyro, but again, it's so hard. But QB, the one to fall, the Engineer goes down. Chucks to trade it out instantly though. Can't catch a break, can't Garda.
Ooh, close on the Yana with a straight shot on the Devilman. Could not land the headshot in the end. Might use Yawn as well. Demo playing very aggressive on the right side.
Bombs in, Bud!
Damage, gets the drop, no eyes on anything.
Oh, the Bud Bomb comes into absolute perfection. No one looking at all. Everyone was too focused with Dungeon, focused with that top entrance. And yeah, Bud just finds the perfect timing and gets the all-important drop. There's 1 minute on the clock. Spawners are coming in. Yarlin's going to run back, change back onto Scout. There's one last push. We've seen these go wrong for Garda so far in this game, in previous games. They've got to clutch up.
Let's see if they can do it 40 seconds. Time is a little tight here, but one good push can certainly be wrapped up in this time span. There's a new gun. That won't be the issue here. Sniper waiting for them as well. Does he miss the opportunity?
Oh,
no, it doesn't. Never mind. Hit the body shot on the Devilman. Demo down right away. The gun is taking so long to go down. Already Juxta caught on this as well.
No, but that can't be happening.
You better settle the reality of Uganda, because it sure is, and there is, I don't think, much of a way around it anymore. Mula will get the super up in time, I think, as well.
Oh, of all the ways I expect them to potentially lose that last push.
It's not even a headshot either.
No, just jumps in without Uber. Just jumps in. Like, I think there was a miscommunication. The Uber charge just wasn't done in time. And yeah, Shabby just flies straight in and yeah, goes for the aggressive bomb you'd go for with an Uber from top right. And yeah, just isn't flashed. So he's just deleted instantly.
I mean, the Olympic Games in Paris are over, but with the Frenchies here, we still find out who gets a gold medal in choking today.
That was...
My God, what a game.
That's a heartbreak. That is an because the thing is as well, you've seen all the chances this game that Garda have had. They've had so many opportunities. Even at 2-1, they had like 2 ad pushes onto last that went wrong when they got like borderline coast to coast afterwards. It's been all Garda the whole game. They've won... Have they won every mid fight? I think they won every mid.
Maybe so. That could be true, actually, without fact-checking right now. That certainly sounds correct anyway. It's not good looking on the mid for the Frenchies. Surprising. This feels like a completely different team than what happened to be playing against Manum last week, I will say.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
what's going wrong in the team right now, but it is a whole different matchup here today.
Yeah, I will say, for like, the like... I know we spent a lot of this game on mid-fights and on last points, just by the nature of how the mid-fights have gone.
Basically all of it, yeah.
But, like, the times when it wasn't, the times when it was, like, transitions around the midpoint and, like, the couple of times that we saw Forfins pressuring into Garda's second, they looked great. They were the better team.
But the second there was any stop in the flow, it immediately stopped for the entirety of the match again.
Yeah, but they had, like, there's few good moments where they were great in those, like, faster parts, but yeah, in those slowdowns, yeah, obviously Garda did struggle getting into last, but there was a few other moments, yeah, where... Especially those mid fights is, yeah, Forfins with mids like that, they're fortunate to still be in this one. But it's 2-2. They've both got a point in the bag, and there's a golden cap to come up to see who's going to be taking the second point available for this map. And honestly, I don't even want to think about predicting who's going to take this, because I have less than no idea.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, with how the mid fight's been going, the Frenchies need to invent some of these strategies real quick here before we go live again, to have the mids look any different, because Garda have just been running them. And as sketchy as it might have been for last on Garda, they have plenty of time to at least get 2 of these going. They get some chances to get. I'm sure one is going to stick eventually.
Yeah, I just feel, though, if Forfins do sort out their mids, or if they lose a mid but not horrendously, I think they probably just are favourites to win the round regardless. But we're going to be seeing what's going to come to fruition. Is it going to be Forfins coming back in with the big round? They're on the wrong config, I believe. Or is that just on
that's not gonna stop anyone. Surely this will not take that long, right?
Yeah, surely, I guess if it gets down to 15 minutes and we have to get VAR to see if the cap came in time, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because the mid-fight for Golden Cap is a go. Could be counter-clockwise rotation for either of these teams. Yawn straight in onto Mula, but no damage dealt. Deli takes one rocket, but that's all that's going to be coming his way, as looking like advantage so far for Fence. They're a player up with no demo man, means they're going to have to be pretty careful in this post-fight. Losing another player too, and Mula gets caught out by Bud over in the other Valley side, so I don't know, this
really
is
damage
oh, Kondo goes down!
He was parked behind them for so long there. Finds 2 good rockets, the scouts clean up. It's desperate plan B, but it's better than most of the fights they've been having.
That kill onto Kondog is absolutely huge, because I said before, I think if they don't lose the mid horrendously, I think they might be favourites for this, and they haven't lost the mid horrendously, they've lost the mid, but they've got their medic cups, they've got all their players up, and they're all going to be sitting here on the second point, maybe going to go for a bit more aggression as well when they're waiting for Kondog to be back here from this forward spawn, as, yeah, Brugman certainly feels that way, he's going to go straight in under the point, QB into Delhi as well, the whole French party is here on this midpoint.
Let's see how it goes. You got to be careful around the bombs coming into mid, but it looks like that's under control pretty early, and that the point's quickly theirs. Okay, Lox TF will tell you that was a mid win for Garda, but see here right now, it's not much of one in the end on the Golden Cap. Quickly take control again. Small hat. I have a hard time imagining they will use this, but maybe this is the time to take some chances.
Yeah, it's actually, I think they'll know about it because they'll have seen exactly when Kondog spawned, and it was a fair few seconds later, but the way they position it doesn't seem to me as if they're too keen on going on, what was this, like a 20 ad or so. It's they're just content to chill as they sort the config out as well, so our timers should be back aligned with reality again with the ETF2L sanctioned rule set, as offense in a position we've seen them in before, and before in this position Kondog just got dropped instantly by a bomb from Brugman, so I guess maybe hoping for something like that is maybe a bit of a, you know, bit of an overstatement, but
I mean, considering how many drops there's been this game, who knows?
Oh, we never know.
Everyone had a hard time performing air control when it came to clutch moments tonight, so we'll see if maybe someone can pick up the game here a little bit. Like you said though, you figured this might be where the Frenchies are favored, but I have to see here what comes out of this little stalemate. The pressure last time was pretty good, they've been here, but not much of that to be seen just yet. There's only so much time for any of this right now. 340 sounds like a lot of time, but as we've learned on last, that time could escape you rather quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, and this time it seems a bit of pressure towards the Valley side, but Juxter and Yawn are doing a great job here, just able to... Actually, Demon and QB taking a lot of damage, they're going to have to go all the way back. I'll get some arrows back up, Nevo too, so defense holding strong for now. At least stronger than the previous time we saw it, and like you say, the timer can tick down, and I guess onto a second point, it's not as brutal in terms of that the hunker down, because obviously Garda, they've got more options for counterplay and counter pushing, but it's still not an easy one to necessarily get into. I'd be interested to see what sort of bombs they go for, if they go for any of the many fade options to the second point.
Peeking quite aggressively here, seeing what space they can take. Never quickly taking care of there as well. Try to maybe get the spot in the end, but it's 2 going down in the end. Suddenly, this has become pretty scary.
Yeah, and now this is the difference between the second and the last. Now they can start going for counterplay. Now they can start running back in. A big air shot attempt there from Bud onto Brugman, who does land the shot eventually.
Oh, he's hitting everything.
Oh, Mula's in trouble.
There's no one with him either. He already is just all alone in choke, and the beam comes out for no one to receive until we're way back on second.
I think there's just miscommunication again.
It's just nothing happening to Bud for so long. They had so much time to hit all these as well, and oh boy, did he deliver.
Yeah, Mula's alone in choke, while Demoman's retreating out Valley and Scout is retreating out Cafe. It's a bit of an awkward moment there for Mula, as it's going to be a big disadvantage. But like we've seen before, these positions, they are not a guaranteed win. These are at best 50-50 for what we've seen so far this game. It's full ad to Kondog, full ad to Garda, 10 minutes left to play, but they're hoping it lasts a lot less than 10 minutes, as they're going to get ready with this Uber charge straight in from the top right. Demoman Ubered in this time, as Brugman going to block the point for a while. He's going to live for quite a long time there on the point. Mula only 15% away from Uber himself, though, is going to have to jump down and try and block the point himself. It's not going to be there. No time left. Garda eventually make it work, and they're going to take the bonus point for this Golden Cap.
You say 50-50, I say it's time to gamble. Garda takes the odds here very gladly, run away with at least a Golden Cap win out of map 1. That is some great points to have this season already. And a bit more of what's happening in mid and a little less what's happening on the last points, and they might just have a lot more than that in the bank by the end of this tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like we said, their mid fights have been fantastic, and to be honest, even their one in Golden Cap, which I guess they kind of lose eventually, they were on top. It was some great play from the scouts of QB and Nevo at the end of it, which were able to just get that last second kill into Condog. But other than that, it was going phenomenally well. And yeah, I've got to say credit to, in particular, credit to these soldiers, like you say, Bud and Yorn. They've been living for so
Yes.
long in these scenarios. They've been getting behind. They've had Muller's number the whole game, and it's been a really great showing from them too.
Certainly, this is. I mean, Bud's been on Prem before. We've seen the guy before. This was a great performance for him. On the other side, Yorn, of course, for season Prem immediately with a much better showing here than in week 1, that's for sure. Able to look a whole lot better now, and with that, that's some good points in the bag already for Garda. It looks like out of the off-season transfer shuffles, Draxter might have the last laugh, at least for now.
This is so rough, right? If you're on four fence, because last week they were beaten by Rons. And this week they've just dropped them up against Jux. They're like the players that are leaving four fence are coming back with their newfound rosters and taking points away from their old team. And obviously still one map to play. We've still got Granary coming up, but there's potential for the way this has gone so far to extend.
You know, I don't want to curse anyone here, but it kind of does remind me how the German season went last time. We've seen them play. Such a good team coming out of an off-season, and suddenly it's just all gone wrong so quickly. The talent on this roster can't be undermined, but it needs to come together a little bit more than it is right now.
But we saw flashes of it that map. They were like there was some
Just
great,
so
great
little of
moments.
it, though.
It's just in between it was rough.
Too little, too late. And you can be close with anyone you want to as much as you want. If you don't win any of those close games, be it last week or this one, you're still sitting there with no points. At least they have the one. That's the consolation prize at this point, though. They really got to show up big time on map number 2 here, Granary.
Yeah, of course, because like these are two of the teams. Obviously, like I'd say the top end of Prem is looking fairly competitive this season in the sense of like there's a lot of teams that at least coming into the season to me it's not clear who's beating who. So there's like I don't know these fights for like these third, fourth, fifth spots at the end of the table. Like these are two teams that I expect. I expected before the season they're going to be fighting for those playoff spots. They're both. This is like almost a 12-point game between them because any points you're getting off them, they're also you're taking from your opponent as well. So these games have got double importance. So yeah, even getting that Golden Cap 1-point win there is really really big for Garda coming in the end of the season.
Certainly, those small margins. I mean, it's not the first time we had like third, fourth come down to tiebreakers before, so it would not be a completely new concept here. At 1 point steal could go a long ways. I don't know who I really want to favor here on it. I guess with what we've seen on the mid-fight so far, not just that they won, but also how they won and with the performances especially, be it the good solo performances or just getting the better end of the demo man every once in a while. Garda's got to be feeling good going into Granary.
Yeah, I've got to say I would agree. I just think Forfens. I think they've got more in the tank. I think they've, having seen them play last week, and they held their own. They more than held their own against Mandan. They had some great showings, and honestly, were incredibly unlucky to come out of that with just 1 point out of the possible 6. I think we're going to see more from them on this map. And again, it's a map where, with the sort of, I'll say the cliche phrase, it's kind of 7 CP. It's less easy to sort of spread it because it's a long map. So I think there's more time for them to shine and in these sort of transitions. And I think, my money's slightly on them, but like we saw last map, and also the fact that every game that Garda will ever play in Prem apparently is a straight up 50-50 who's going to win it. So I do still slightly favour Forfence though coming into this.
I'll see what comes out of this one. I'm very curious to see. I mean, Garda, they're living by these close margins. They like themselves a game with a bit of drama, I'm sure of it. They've been there plenty of times before. I think they had a couple of those last season as well, which just really came down
Oh, they
the
had
wire.
some crazy games. They had some crazy games last season. There was the one that sticks in my brain is the flare gun medic drop at 4-4 with like a minute left, and then that led to a coast to coast. But yeah, there was some mad Garda games last season, and there is every season. I don't know. They're a team that just produces just crazy TF2.
Certainly. Oh, this might be the map, however, where we might see, but unironically pull out the base dropper.
Oh, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. Well,
that's sort of always the narrative hangover scene like this. What if the unlock that goes unbanned actually does something as well? I've seen someone try the heavy to bit, but they switched off that to just standard heavy without the fast stake. after immediately. So we'll see if maybe the base jumper can survive. What I see right now is certainly better boots, I think. Yeah, so far it's a good old-fashioned approach here to the mid-fight. We'll see what comes out later here on this first mid-fight. Garda still on red, 4 fans on the blue, representing all of France, it looks like for now. Condor immediately in trouble though, and Demo and Bushman just make sure that no one's left around him as well.
Yeah,
that's the 6 in the last second.
Oh, the salvage from Bud, that was such a great mid from Forfins. That's the bounce back they were looking for right until that final moment. They're still going to win it, they're still going to cap second, they're still going to have roughly level Ubers in this situation. It's I guess a case of whether they can hold lobby in time, because there's going to be 6 spawners very, very quickly here, whilst Nevo and Mula are all the way back trying to run this beam in. But yeah, it was looking so good until that final rocket from Bud, again the saviour coming in, able to find it. And Bruceman's got a QB's last. QB's on last already. Juxta's going to chase. This is all down to the 1-on-1, the scout. Everyone's back. Okay, they get it.
Yeah, there is a universe. QB hits the first 2 shots, it's just over. But had time to stall long enough to at least get the second guy involved. Quick 2v1 from there as well. Demo down, trying to take some space here. It was looking so good for so long here to make some plays, but got to be careful here how much they're daring to throw at the second point at this point.
Yeah, Bud is going to go and do a lot of damage into Nevo, but that is going to be it for that bomb through. And yeah, like I said, it's the annoyance of having your medic die late on a mid lane that you have to send a scout back to 2 players weren't there for that fight on second. It was essentially a 6v4, despite the fact that Forfins held the second point. So Garda were able to find their way in, but they're not able to find their way back out of this second area yet. Bruceman is going to catch the kill onto Yorn, and that is when they call it quits. They all back up, and Bruceman, the first one in already. Big air shot though from Bud.
Yeah, does not manage to get close. Alright, let's look on the bright side for the Frenchies. They're winning mid-fights, they're keeping control after them for a good amount here as well. This is a step in the right direction to not overstay one mid-fight too much just yet as well. I'm sure they're going to be a lot more relaxed now going to the rest of this one, especially since now they are the ones actually taking their shot into last. Now it's their turn to show us that they're actually better than what just happened and make much quicker work on the last points. It's switching from Sun to Granary. Not exactly helping that situation maybe, but at the end of the day, we've all been here a long time before, so I'm sure they have some ideas.
Yeah, with this, I guess it's like, I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of different gun spots people play. We've got one on the sort of front left corner of the point here. Is going to be denying a lot of spam from those top windows on that far right side, as Yarlin is going to catch that spamming soldier of Bruceman. And one thing I want to point out here is that Bud's come up on the conch again. We saw this happen on the previous last attack before, and it had mixed results. Like, what are your thoughts of pulling it out in a defense like this?
I don't know, it's always an awkward story. This point is so big, you've got so much ground to cover, but it's not exactly like the other team can exactly peek very deep before someone has something to say about it. At the very least, the gun sniper on top of that makes things even more annoying, actually peeking deep as well. A lot of the time with last points, especially one like this as well, it just comes down to the matter that you just reserve yourselves to not being able to leave without a mistake on the other side as well. So snipers just making it harder for them to even get anything right in the first place, and sometimes you get one like this.
Yep, when Nevo goes down instantly, you're going to jump in up top, going to seize the space instantly. As yeah, everyone's just sat on this up top area. They're aware of the sniper, of course. They know not to send any of their high-value picks in front. But in the meantime, the spammer from lobby has meant that Bud now does have 100% on that conch to pop at Gnosis.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been we've seen success technically of the conch last game with the Force, but quite frankly, it's been a long time since I've seen the conch really matter a ton, where it also was clearly the conch doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It's been a while, ever since the above banner discussion, not above banner, battalion's backup discussion came out, and we only were left with the conch. It feels like this thing has very fallen by the wayside.
Yeah, I don't know, I've not seen a great deal of use of the banners in general. Like the buff banner, I think we saw it come out once or twice last season, but like, again, to minimal effect. There are obviously like some use cases for this conch. And I guess on a last point like this, if you know you're probably not going to be jumping too much, if you're just sitting there spamming, like I guess there's sort of no reason to not have it in that regard, but it's all going to be down to the off classes, the off weapons on the other side. As we see Nevo coming up on the sniper, going to be peeking and potentially going for a big 1v1 against Yarlin.
Okay, while popping the conch and eating 2 pipes while you're standing there doing it. Not exactly making a good argument for the conch just now, but I feel like that's just a matter of playing better with that thing.
And then still sticks for a few seconds as well. Still, oh, they see the sticks eventually. Okay, Bud's clearing the sticks, but we're okay.
Oh, it's still the snipers that probably will have to do the heavy lifting right now, and it's not exactly most aggressive angles coming out on Nemo, just hoping someone walks into the sideline, but look at the clock, it's so much time gone already. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm sure they're having a great time right now on the French side.
Yeah, they haven't really got to the doorways, to be honest, on this way through. Brugman's about as close as they've got up on this top spot, and he's going to get the gun down, but whilst Payboy is
coming
like,
through, it's not enough.
And the Scout QB's in as well. They want this.
We're holding on.
They get forced anyway on Mueller's side.
Oh no, it's a complete disaster. It's the opposite of what's supposed to happen. I don't know if they know that, but you throw people in so you force the opponent, Vedic.
I actually didn't catch on the camera what Mueller forced. I'm assuming there was some sort of play through one of the shutters there that caught them off guard because it was just Mueller and Nevo, really.
They peeked too deep, just trying to help with the force attempt and just easy damage to get there in the meantime from the soldiers.
Yeah, well, D-Mule is going to get some easy damage the other way and does get the force out onto Condog. A really, really big play there, coming in all the way behind. This claustrophobic second point, the rocket splash does so much damage. And that means now that despite the fact that 4th have had to fall all the way back to mid, they are going to have an uber advantage. But they are still on a sniper, and they're still down a player, so they can't go too fast into this one. But D-Mule's spawning up now. Nevo isn't going back to spawn as much as I can see. No, he's still currently sat in garage, so they seem to be keen on keeping the sniper. But with Uber Ad, I want to see what they're able to do with this.
Well, here's the age-old discussion. Would you rather be even Uber on last or Uber advantage into second? You gotta make sure if they can get some good value out of this one right now. The sniper, like you said, though, hurts probably a little bit. It's not the best angles to take as well. You need to be able to convert these open shots on a Dowerman, though. It does get them away. They might, at the very least, get into yard once again. Already walked away for here, butt down as well. That's another kill. Big bomb onto the combo. Shabby weak off that one too, but the scouts clean up pretty nicely on the side of Garda. Keep themselves in this very much. A worst player situation. Frenchies might push this even more, and being stuck here with the sniper now is feeling like a bit of liability at the very least. It helps against overextending players. So it might justify itself by matter of the big mistake on Garda peeking there to begin with.
Yeah, Jorn gets taken out by a really nice shot there from Nevo, and despite the fact that Condog has this Uber built up, losing that one player, there was never really an opportunity to stay in there to take any sort of trade to try and cling on to that second point. So now, all the way back to last gun, not built up yet either. This could be a good opportunity to try and get in. They've already got the sniper off class there as well. See what 4th are able to cook up, because we were here for a long time before, and to be quite honest, I was not inspired by what I saw in terms of their attempts in, because Garda just had every door on lock, it felt, and now Yarlin up on the heavy. They're sort of assuming they don't have time for this this engineer because of Nevo's presence, and this is a golden opportunity.
Maybe so. Off class is not holding too close. If they can get a big peek in here, might just be all you need at this point. Can't have the same mistake happen again with Mula peeking too deep into too much damage, so there's still something to improve on for the French side as well on that end, but now all eyes forward. Condog is the target. They're all well aware of that. They might not even know that there's no gun yet as well, and Devo who messes up the entry as well. Bushman looking, but look at that, they're all expecting to be close forward front wall. That's not where Condog's starting at all.
Yeah, this is a sad sight, isn't it? Bruges are probably very sad in that one. Just eating heavy spam, just being pinned up towards the skybox. It's so brutal. But yeah, both soldiers go in again. No risk really in that on a last hold. So we'll see what they've got plenty more times to go in with that. But I guess the one thing they've missed now on the 4th side is the gun is now up on Juxter. So the gun in the same spot as last time. Condog can sit underneath it, sit in great safety. But yeah, Nevo has come back to spawn and come up on the spy. Okay, I like this. Using the opportunity to change off. I like it, yeah.
Elaborate.
I don't know, it's something different. The sniper, I guess, to last, they really didn't have too much of a chance before, and I guess they have lost their demo, which is not exactly perfect, but I just think, you know, it just spices things up. If they can even get a kill on the sniper or something, it's enough to draw some eyes, draw some attention for these bombs to come through.
Well, if we're looking for something different, we might as well go Demonite. That seems to be working wonders for every team that used it this season, I think.
Oh, there's 2 this season, isn't there? There's
2.5, actually. It's a weird situation.
Well, the spy isn't really going to work if they're dropping so many players out in lobby like this. Yarlin is having an absolute feast over towards his right shooter. Bud's in as well, under Demo. There's only 2 players left up in this lobby. So Yarlin and Jorn want to go in, but the spy comes in. Oh.
I mean, you'd have to survive the double man at that point as well. It's asking for a lot. And it's not like the team can really go in off this right now either, because there is no team. He's down, Demon's down, Bushman dies instantly. Who's going to do anything even if he get the sap?
Yeah, that was rough for Bruisman there. Tides around the corner, but the rocket from the sentry gun had already fired, and the splash from the rocket is able to just work around the corner as Juxta spawns back in. And again, have we left the this last point on Garda's side this entire game so far? We're 10 minutes in, and it feels like I've just been sat staring at this red last point the entire time.
My soul is about to leave me at this point. Before anything else will happen, the Frenchies struggling so far on this last point. Despite checking Garda's now as well. Garda is playing this to perfection on their part. They're doing everything right here. Just making this incredibly difficult as well. One bomb by the Demo Man of all people, and it's still not quite enough.
Get down, Mr. President there from, I think there was what was that? Yeah,
the sniper,
Yarlin, jumping in front. I lost my train of thought
like
for a
I said,
second.
they're doing everything right here. They do exactly what they need to. Frenchie's taking a big chance of getting a jump on Chappie at the very least.
They might be getting more as well, because Conduk's used all the way back. They're going to recap the second point, and this is honestly just a 4 fences advantage. They've got Spawners still coming in, Shaggy's still down. They've got a bit of time to work with Bud, Yawn, all going to try and get towards his right shot to see if they can deal with Bruisman and Nevo. And Bruisman goes down, Nevo full suit as well. And okay, the moment is gone. These soldiers really picking it up again on Garda on this second map.
It's one of those situations where it feels like, and I usually say this jokingly more than seriously, but at what point do you really just let them get out of last to have a maybe better chance of second?
You know the worst part is as well, I've got something worse, right? You know in that entire exchange there, the second point flipped. We're here for 5 more minutes. the timer is reset. There's 4.5 minutes on this timer at the top of the screen. It's yeah, the timer only gets reset when the points flip, and yeah, second point flips. So I guess if offense is a genius move, you get more time, and as a triple sack comes in, and honestly,
that's the gun. It's not enough right now.
It was a quad sack actually. The George Foreman coming in from the 4 fence side, but not cooking up anything other than that one sentry gun. And yeah, second point cleared up, and maybe your strat's coming true. Maybe they just think, you know what, we'll give up second point, we'll back up all the way to mid, and then we'll take it from there.
It's that though. This is the 7 CP map. If giving up second is anything to go by, you'd really just still be on guard, to be honest. This is a lot more ground lost than I'm sure they're happy for. Never serves right into that one. That's the wrong
in as well. Yeah, but
Jan's going deep as well, cleans up the Demo Man, big damage to Condor. That's exactly what they needed here. Still 3 down. Steep asking price. They didn't do it before, and last 3 on the mid is enough this time around as well. But looks like maybe they're not pushing this much further right now.
Well, they don't have the forward spawns either on those 2 players. Deli and Nevo get that forward spawn, which is I guess what they were trying to stack to do over on the red side, but now Demoman and Pocket Scout back in the game if they're over on the French side. As going to see if a Force can come back in on this other way, or if Mula can get in for free. Mula taking a lot of spam on the way through though from Yorn and Bud. It's going to be so hard.
This might be the best it's been for the Frenchies since the mid-fight. In some weird way, that's where we are right now. They're getting 2 kills. They still have Uber towards second. If they can do some quick work on second, maybe get a kill or 2, they can convert this into a last play before a gun is up. That's really, I think, what should be the aim right now as well. Prevent the proper setup from happening, but it looks like Garda realize the assignment. Oh, to get 2 with that somehow.
Oh, the forward, was that the forward spawn? It must have been the forward spawn. Oh, that is absolutely crazy stuff. Conduct does have Uber though. There is a potential for them to hang on, but it's all about whether they can get this force out onto Conduct. Can they do before these spawners get like in 5 more seconds on that? Evo in, Bruisman trying to spam from up top as well. Deli all the way out far left. Bruisman just going to bomb towards the point. Is anyone going to get there in time? Yarlin, the big fat heavy leg, is going to have to walk across Conduct with a massive surf up onto the top pipe. He's going to live for a moment, and T-Mule goes down. Condog with some amazing movement there to surf all the way up over the top onto the higher pipe, and is going to live and let this Uber fight on another day. And Garda, they will not die on last.
It's somehow still holding on. This is the same map, but reverse priorities now. It feels like the last, but now it's Frenchie's time to struggle on the last point. Still no point, I guess, is the only big difference here right now, and this exchange is looking rough for the Frenchies being 1 down. However, more important than that maybe as well, there's people behind already. Yaon coming in incredibly late, but maybe just in time, late into this fight from the back lanes. No one with a chance to get out again.
Yeah, Demul is going to draw some eyes, which is a nice idea. He's going to buy a lot of time, as Demul actually goes all the way back to the last Jupster and Yawn are going to be tasked with clearing up the rats on the back line, but like with Demo down, there is an uber ad to work with. But honestly, these flank players, like, this has completely killed the mid push. If there was any like chance of momentum-based mid push there was only like what, 2-3 players up from 4 fence. D Mueller just nipped that in the bud complete. The constant back cap threats, especially from a soldier on this map, all the doorways into that second point are so splashable. It's so dangerous. D Mueller's just gonna get out and, you know, try and I don't know.
Dragster just gets killed out of nowhere, eventually outdone. If they catch him eventually, still an awkward trade out of this one, and Bushman in the backlines is still turning more heads, but I think at this point the advantage you could get out of the player behind is certainly gone by the wayside a little bit.
Yeah, QB's still on last. I think they must be aware of this possibility with the traps that are up currently from Shappy. Yeah, Shappy's still spamming away. They're trying to look for this. Yawn and Juxta both clearing up, but none of them cleared that right spawn. Oh, Yawn's aware of it now, has spotted it. Spotted QB all the way back, but like we say, these behind plays from 4 fence, again, it's just bought so much time. The Ubercharge have evened out again. They've got their players back up, and I guess once these players cleaned it behind, there's maybe a chance to push forward with the player ad. So Juxta and Yawn are going to be going back, dealing with it, and 1-for-1 though, because Bud goes down.
But the player behind already caught so much attention in the back, and positioning was just out the window so quickly in all of that as well. We're barely even in shutter. Lost so much space so quickly with that. We'll get them yard pretty quickly. Good news for the franchise, but gotta actually get something started on the second point now as well.
It's going to be hard to get in though, because they're still waiting on one of their spawners. There's all 6 players here on the defensive side for Garda, and all these players are in lunchboxes. It's fairly spammable unless they plan on using their way in, unless they're able to try and clear these players up from above. And Yarlin doing a good job so far, just holding the ground, but the pressure is really heating up now for 4 fence. They're really trying to squeeze in, but no, they decide it's too much. And yeah, just, you know, you can sit there for so long in lunchbox, but eventually you might be the ones that get eaten.
Right, what's the plan here? Bart's trying to at least peek in a little bit, see what's... Wait, that's a chance to get to the demo man. Can't quite manage to big bomb Bushman in the meantime, but launches themselves right at Juxta, not the medic. That's a bit unfortunate there in the end. Yawn in the lunchbox fight will win that one. Domination over Demul there as well. Both soldiers down. I'm sure now it's Garda's time to play a little bit, even if they're one down as well. They're peeking quite a bit already, seeing if they catch anyone out of position here. Frenchie's getting out of danger for now. The fact of matters as well, Garda kind of been spending the entire time on the back foot. How much are they daring to be the first ones to make a big move right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we've left Garda's half of the map. Like, 4 fence have been on the front
really,
foot
no.
literally since the mid-fight. I think the midpoint flipped for like a couple of seconds at one of those push-out attempts, but we're like 18 minutes into this game. And 4 fence, they've just been in complete control for all of it, but just haven't quite found that final step through. And we'll see what they're able to go for now, as they're trying to squeeze in this time from Shutter. Delhi taking a fair bit of space into the second point, going to try and land some big sticks and big pipes over into this combo, but Brugeman the first one to fall, and that probably spells doom and gloom for this now. They're going to have to back up, and there's actually only 1 minute left. This timer's ticked down very quickly.
We'll keep finding ways to somehow cap second point, and it still goes back the exact same way as it was before, so maybe this talent reaches new heights here on this one as well, but it's not looking likely at this one actually. Frenchies might have to go for an exchange if they don't want to have to get forced into mid any moment.
Yeah, with all these like backup attempts and stuff, I was kind of surprised that the second point didn't actually flip one way or the other. But we're down here now, 11 minutes left to play, 40 seconds left, and like you say, a trade could be on the cards if the Frenchies really want to make this burst through the work, and they do get straight in onto Bud. Condog not used yet, he's going to get a better Uber on the way back, but a better Uber, 1 player down. Is it really a better Uber? Nevo caught out, so it certainly is. It's all of these 2 players up top, these 2 soldiers. Can they bomb in? Can they get some value? Condog taking so weak, and so is Yawn, but they're hanging on for now. Over on the Garda side, Brugeman winning some big fights up top as well. Juxta actually, Juxta's living, Juxta's farming.
They gotta move quick though. If you want to keep the momentum up, you gotta go on the mid. You get so much overtime actually.
They get so much overtime. There's 3 players up on mid. If Garda want to go for this, they absolutely can, but they've got to go right now, like you say.
Oh no, I think they're already just taking so long right now as well. But denied in the sky. The Frenchies just fighting to have this go to a mid fight instead of losing this mid one entirely, and they're getting the bush granted. Holding on for dear life there at the end.
Yeah, QB did really good work there. Just literally jumped down on top of Shappy's head and said, "You will not stand on this point and get cap time."
Both QB and I on the other side. Thought I spoke earlier Juxta as well, clutching this one out.
Yeah, like, great stuff. Well, there's 10 minutes left to play, and that has been an interesting long round, 20 whole minutes. No
Great
rounds
work by
on
the
board
French
so far.
scouts. Unfortunately, they're on both teams, so this is keeping
Yeah,
the
true.
game completely even.
Well, I guess 4Fens are going to be hoping for a repeat of that previous mid, because last time it was really, really good for them just until that final moment when Bula was caught out by Bud. But the same again with Bula not going down, and it's a very, very good chance of a round in the bag as the spam comes out so far. Shappy losing out the early spam up between the demo, but that might not matter. Brugman and Dean will both in very aggressive onto Condog, who is going to be taken down eventually, but at the cost of 3 for 3, we are into DM Fest.
Ooh, and Juxta quicker to the pack, gets that fingers as well. Stays healthy for a little bit longer. 5 HP, not enough past that scout. Never can't protect Bushman forever. Unfortunately, 30 health. Guy's pretty weak as well, and I think he's stuck on the wrong side of town right now.
Yeah, this is the advantage, obviously, of having the height against this soldier, but still eats the rocket from Yorn as midpoint going to be capped up in the favour of Garda. So, for I believe only the second time this game, midpoint is going to be in the colour red. Nevo has used the opportunity to go all the way deep behind, going to try and go for some big plays, but obviously they're aware of this. They saw Nevo go into the garage. They know he's going to be around there somewhere on the backside of this red half of the map. But other than that, even Ubers. And we'll see now, maybe for the first time this game, what Garda have got cooking in terms of their offensive capabilities.
Maybe this is the start of something. They have 9 minutes. There's plenty of time to turn this into a winning game here as well. And they're starting off pretty good here. Bombed by Demo, maybe. Bushman hard night early on. Condog holding on once again.
Yeah, the movement from Condog is so good, landing up on those crates, eating so much damage, but able to surf it all the way up onto the height. 3 players down now for 4Fens. They're going to have to back up all the way onto their last. There's a couple of stickies in this second point, and that is it in the way of defense. It's completely free for Garda to walk in and start, pressuring into this last. The gun still not up yet. No off-class as a whole to speak of, other than this heavy that's just coming out of spawn now from Nevo. They're fearing something quick over from Garda.
Shut down the soldiers for now, but still tries another time around anyway, but also does not get very far in the end. Oh, nice one. That Demo just walks right into second point, thrusts into one scout right into the second. He kills one of the two in the end here as well. And forces the other one pretty quickly back towards the yard. Can't complain about this too much here as well, and well, not having to sit around on last for all too long, it looks like.
Yeah, it was a really nice push out there. 3 players up for guard. Yes, the sticks were dead from Shappy, which is what gets them the kill. But it's like at that point, there's no more sticky drops anywhere else when you've seen your teammate just die to sticks. So able to clear it up pretty free with just a scout and the demo in the way of combat classes. So we've seen this situation quite a lot so far, but in the reverse, we just see how Garda deal with this. We saw before, just the exchange through choke was the way that 4Fens had their most value. See if they go for something again, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going for.
Yeah, it's just about great efficiency. Franchi spent so much time unable to break this. Garda with much less time to do it as well now, but same idea here, of course, as well. Deli in a bit of trouble, Yawn in back. The damage isn't quite good enough. Shappy is missing a couple shots. He takes the scout to cover and help put the demo in the corner. Finally, Deli down. Took the sweet time with that one. Went unpunished at least. The butt spawn is still outstanding right now. Might slow things down enough for fans to have a chance, but fact of the matter is, they're sitting here without a demo man. There's a lot of damage missing. That is just such good area now on a narrow walk over the point. Garda really needs to flex the difference on right now, but really struggle to take the position with.
Yeah, Brugman in particular has done a great job of just stuffing out this point area just long enough for Deli to get back in. Like you say, losing a demo man, that's almost the biggest pick for a point like this, just blocking all these choke points on the way through. But Brugman just stepped into those shoes and was like, you know what, I can hold it just as well, and able to buy enough time for the demo man of Deli to come in as Bud. Going to be going for a bit of a waddle bomb there through onto nothing found though.
Alright, how much of a chance are the Frenchies going to take of anything they're getting here though? Butt kill doesn't seem to be inspiring a great deal of any action for it just yet. Bushman's going back to spawn. I wonder what for. Oh, this is just resub. He doesn't want to sit on beam. Any loader changes? Not that I can tell, no. Might be secretly in paint train, but that would be not the most obvious time to do it right now.
Yeah, a little bit odd in this current situation, but again, this exchange through honestly didn't look like it went too badly over on the Garda side. Like it was, we started working in the full offense. It can be quite potent if you know that their enemy medic is sitting pretty close, especially if you can really catch someone out. It looks like they're going to go exactly for the same play once again. Nevo taken so weak, but is going to be caught in this Uber charge from Mula. Nice Uber coming up 1-for-1 so far. Soldier for Scout. And it's all about this re-engagement. Last time it was a bit passive over on the Garda side. Can they get in and can they get some more frags?
Good damage. Delhi shuts down Yarlin as well. Bushman seems to have the flank mostly under control here as well, taking the right side push instead of free shutter, just making sure to not get stuck on Shappy, Stickies, anyone. That guy long out already at this point. Frenchies with good piece of work here to get out of last, or second I should say. All the way maybe back to mid, still here with 5v6 for a moment, but the entry has to be good. Certainly has struggled for Team Sofa here on the midpoint. Just now bombs across, looking for the Demo Man. There we go, two will do the work. But one couldn't, one bomb after the other.
Mula's
isolated. Down, Medic all alone here, yeah, exactly, and they're there in time. Big collapse on that one though. Everyone on Garda had the same idea at the same time and just put themselves instantly to the meat runner.
Yawn in the 1v2 on mid does have a slight health advantage, but is going to be forced all the way out. Nevo collects the pack, and Condog, again, we've seen this a couple of times, just thinks in those situations, I'm just going to get out, back to the spawners, run all the way home, and run home with the advantage. Midpoint is going to be attempted to be capped by Nevo, but I'm not sure that's going to last too long. Nevo going to, just about get out, took a lick of damage there going through the window, but is able to get back out. Massive advantage though now for Condog. It's arguably the best chance that Garda have had this entire map of the round.
I might say this is the best chance anyone ever had this game as well. Second point Uber advantage is really nicely as well if you can go the distance with it as well, especially if you play quick, trying to get in here fast, not taking this over lunchbox or anything, just going directly. Will are getting closer, 25%.
They have to be so quick.
I don't think they will be.
They've got to be so quick. Mula, yeah, Mula's getting this Uber in time, and I'm not sure if Garda are going to be quite aware of it. It seems that they're being they're waddling through, yeah, they're seeming like they're interested in going for this, but Mula is going to have Uber on the other side. T-Will bombing in onto Kondo, gets one rocket, but is going to be taken down 1-for-1 so far in terms of the trades. Gun taken out by Bud as well. It's working pretty well for Garda so far. Can they get some point presence? Can they get some pressure over towards it? But no, the Ubers aren't budging. These medics just holding on.
For now, anyway, someone will have to give it eventually. 2 down is going to make this a lot more obvious here as well.
QB
on Scout doesn't get it.
Oh,
the arrow comes out by Kondo. Staring down a Scout.
Oh, QB, great work. Gets 2 frags there from upper lobby. Really nice flank attempt there, and like we say, the Uber was just held for so long. I'm sure Condor knew that they'd waited just a few seconds too long on that push in. For fence, it was literally down to those seconds on that hold on the second point. Could they hang in and delay as long enough? And they just about did, and now they're the ones with the big advantage. They're the ones looking to push the issue. 2 minutes 40 seconds left. There is time to go coast to coast, and we saw it happen on the previous map. Will they do it this time to get a win?
Maybe so. Advantage is great for them on the French side, capping the point as quickly as they can anyway. Capping times 3 until the spawns are up. Now I want to move across quickly here. Trap instantly catches Bushman. Trappy delaying this just a bit more, forces them right side instead. Scout at the worst time to rotate over there though. Just all alone all of a sudden. Exactly when you would not want to be.
Yeah, good work there from Mula and Nevo as well to make sure that Mula's damage was minimised. Took about 30 damage in the entire fight. Was really well played, but on the other side, Juxta did buy a lot of time with that little skirmish there over towards the yard, and that means Condog now does have an Uber charge to work with on this defensive side. 2 minutes left to play for Forfence to finally try and get around on the board here on CP Granary. There with the space advantage, they're the ones looking to push in, and maybe we see another trade through because both teams have been enjoying those so far.
Yeah, this exchange comes out right away. Do walk over Bart really quickly, no beam for the soldier. Bushman trying to go up and behind, gets body blocked off that one, can't land
really
in the upper
nice
area. Small things that matter here, and it's not going to allow them for much more than this, but at least they do take this point right now. Still 1 down for a second here, and there's no gun up as well. Just a quick to the heavy, trying to do the most they can. Bombs across already, looking for anything they can, but looks to be a bit disorganized on what's the target here actually. If you find Yarlin in the end, walk a couple of people in, onto point, and goes, try to force something out, but damage is so spread apart. It's just about getting on point in time. Shooting what's on the plate there, and the Demo Man
But they got contact.
sets it up. Yeah, the Demo Man in the late gets the scout in his follow-up. Medic going down. Daddy and QB, I think it was at the end there. Just about getting that one, and that might be all they need.
Dare I say, this is the exact reverse of the situation that we had last map. The exact situation, we had about a minute left. Medic just caught on a last point in very similar scenarios. It's going to be Mula this time with 4 fence, with the advantage. 36 seconds on the clock. The gun's getting built up still. Everyone's just getting their buffs. There's a heavy. There's whatever they can muster on this defense to try and hang on as the overcharge comes in from this far left-hand side. Deli going to be blocked mid-air. Lots of cap time coming through boards. He's going to get them in time just about. The rest of the Garda side going to try and come into block. It's a scramble. It's an absolute brawl onto the point. But it was maybe an overcommitment for fence. They got caught out, and they're going to be going to Golden Cap number 2 of the game. And again, these last-minute Uber-ad pushes, though, when the pressure is on, neither team is able to make these pushes work.
It's a rush on point, barely too early, exactly considering they killed ignored the Bellman. Sharpie just farmed them on the point.
Yeah, and Jokester did probably a lot of DPM there as well on the heavy.
Mean, yes, certainly.
In that post. Like, yeah, it was. I don't know. The point play was good. I liked it. Yeah, just they got. It was
one of the big ones had to go down first.
Yeah.
And they just rushed it a tiny bit too much in the end. And once again, we're finding ourselves in overtime. Somehow this game will find a way to just end 3-3.
Yeah, this is really, I don't know, like the fact that both maps have had like team gets full Uber ad with a minute left on enemy last and basically has to wait for like spawners to come back up and then push in that final charge, and to be fair, it is that push is always harder than like a regular Uber because you never have sort of the bailout option of we'll just kill their medic and we'll reset or wherever, because you literally do not have time. But there's not much time for us to talk either because Golden Cap is already underway. We are rolling out now, 0-0 in regulation. Are we not really getting baited? We're getting baited. They baited.
Yeah, they're figuring out the config as we speak, I think, is the issue. They don't want to have this done a little too late this time around as well. Bottom line is from this match, if you want to get a potential lesson out of this, is that we're cursed to repeat history if we don't learn from it. And map 2 is just more of the same. The only difference being who's in charge this time. It's the Frenchies maybe, but has changed very little about the situation until after 30 minutes are played. Now, we're going to overtime, 15 more, one single round, but that's asking for a lot in the game where not one round has been scored.
Yeah, we'll see. Are we... They're sorting out the config again?
Like I said, this is experts at work.
Yeah, we're still also getting... I think they set the match time limit to 1 minute, because I saw it come up and my timer's in 1 minute left. I was like, surely there's not only 1 minute for overtime already, but no. We're still getting baited again. So we've both been caught out by that now, but we'll see if they're able to eventually get the config set up for Golden Cap. As we 3-2-1, are we for real this time?
Certainly, all to play for now. 4th can at least make this look like a tie. Garda with the chance to still sneak away with a big green number on the scoreboard for the league tables. Would make this whole endeavor feel a lot more worth it. Especially after just sitting on a back foot all map on map number 2.
Yeah, well, these mid-fights from 4th offensive is so good so far, and it all starts off with these big bumps over towards Kondo because Rougeman, Demul both in again. This time fading around for round number 2. Demul is the one to commit in. It lands 2 nice rockets, going to get the third in there over onto Kondo. Rougeman and Deli are going to be taken down. QB as well, there is potential for a collapse in, but does so much damage over there onto Mula, but is not able to find the final shot. Yarlin, last up alive in enemy garage. He's going to be chased out by Demul, but this is the biggest, most decisive mid so far of the game. Mula lives and is going to have a full Uber advantage. Yarlin's still behind. There's spawners coming in. They haven't capped up mid yet. So this ad may be gone by the time they get all the way to last, but it's a start.
Well, how much damage can one little scout on the backlines really do? That's a nice little spot there Yarlin had as well. Was able to see around the corner there a little bit, while not being in too obvious a position to check usually. He is still behind unnoticed, but I mean, they are well aware he's somewhere out there as well. Just a question of when you're gonna strike, or if you have anything to play out right now. As long as there's disadvantage, it's gonna be really hard to initiate much as well. Although just showing your face might waste good time making them worried about you.
Yeah, just firing chip shots here from the crates over towards window is going to grab QB and Deli's attention. And as we say, Kondok has just built Uber in this time.
Yeah, certainly wasted a lot of time.
And gone down, and Nevo's gone down. What on earth is going on? QB's gone down.
Deli
was
walks right into the scout. This is exactly what
goes behind.
He was just waiting for the opportunity. The team delivered quite nicely, and this is a long way back home for Mula. Just, they got a call or something here.
really nice work from Team Conduct. Just got blocked in the invisible wall there above the shutter and is going to be forced out with this Uber charge. Yarlin going to try and win this fight against Team in the end of this one. Conduct is going to get out. 30 HP goes down very, very weak, but is going to live. Muller caught out though as well. Like you say, as Brugman QB, they're going to try and go for some Hail Mary play behind over onto Bud. But midpoint might be getting capped up unless Delhi has something to say about it. We are into complete pandemonium here on Granary. I have got eyes pointed all over the place.
The second the stalemate ends, the chaos unfolds right away here. Maybe this is exactly what they're so desperately trying on both sides, to keep this match under control with whatever they have. Don't want the opponents to have too much fun just now as well, because when they
5
do,
HP!
it's getting incredibly scary, incredibly quickly. Condor holding on for dear life. The rest of the team a little slow to get here, unfortunately. Can't quite follow up on anything there. Never trying to rush this forward. Somehow trades one out there without much backup, but QB is still stuck in the backlines, and Batman's just sitting there all alone.
Condog has had some crazy escapes so far this game. Some of them due to good fortune, but some of them due to just genuinely great movement and great awareness. But is going to be the one with a slight advantage here, pushing forward into the second point. It's going to be taking a lot of spam though from Demul from that shutter. He's going to slow things down a bit as QB on the forward spawn camp is going to be tilting, but I'm sure all the way back. And actually, this is going to lead to some pressure because they've seen two players go back. They know that the combo isn't really too strong here out in yard as the bomb's coming from Brugman already. Offense, they want to fight.
Certainly don't want to give up anything for free here. The yard area with great damage. Still under control for now. Took actually a big beating there, but Garda taking problems up first here. Do leave first. Still have QB to worry about, but just kind of staring him down in the backlines for now. It's not like QB isn't getting too much.
3 players go back.
They finally caught him, I guess. That will be pretty rough here.
But the thing is, the offense know that 3 players have gone back because QB's going to be calling this, so it's going to be, QB goes down, but they try and push in. Actually, really well played there from Shafi Yarl, and they're able to hold on. I was worried for a moment there within 3 players of mid. There was a worry of a burst coming through, but now the burst might be going the other way. Bud's going to be coming all the way through, gets kind of blocked in the way and going to be quite awkward. The Yarlin gets taken down too, and actually, it's been a bit of a disaster.
There is at least a small silver lining, if you want to call it that. There's Yawn behind, players behind, been less doing great real damage, more just been great distractions so far this match. Hopes to get the jump on the spawner here, does catch someone by surprise at least, but the fight's already starting elsewhere again, and Condor has to use so much Snowball. Really weak post, but gotta be incredibly careful once the beam ends. Maybe get some good damage into doing just that. Bushman Demo making sure to get anything off the beam there right away. Without, like I said, not healthy after all is said and done right now. Maybe it's Garda having the last laugh right now. That's the last ditch effort coming from the scouts already, still on point, right on Condor. And all that's left standing is exactly QB from earlier.
Yeah, Yawn dragged 2 players back there in the Uber, so again it meant that the Uber charge coming in from Forfins was down players. So in that post fight, they were in a bit of trouble. Muller is going to go down early, going to leave a tiny bit of advantage, but Yarlin and Bud, they want this, they're going forward. They want to try and cap this out. Yarlin trades 1-for-1 with Brugman. But
Yawn in on the medic.
Oh, Yawn.
1 and 2, it doesn't. Oh, body block by QB actually in the last one.
Yeah, nice play there from QB. Able to body block, get that, save that rocket from hitting onto Mooley, because that might have just been enough damage to kill that French medic. But 2 minutes left in the round time. Again, it feels like we've been flip-flopping around this second midpoint. I'm surprised that neither of them have actually flipped over in terms of colour, but we might be stabilising out. It's going to be even Ubers, even players once these spawners walk out onto mid over on the red side, and yeah, we'll see what Garda have to cook with. Last time it was kind of just like let's hurl people through choke and see what sticks, and they lost basically everyone on that play apart from getting Yawn behind, but maybe there's something else they're going to try this time.
Time is ticking here. Still only so much time left in the Golden Cap as well for someone to eventually score around. 9 minutes to go, sounds like a lot, but compared to how much time people used to have on this map, for Golden Cap, nothing. That's the bombs coming through. Yawn fished out the area. Landing more like it by Delhi on the end. On down. Are they gonna dare pick though is the question with these? Or are you just gonna sit back and...
There's 1 minute.
And the Frenchie is arguably favored here. The mid-fight's been pretty alright for them on this map.
They've been great. They've been the better team on all 3 of the mid-fights we've had so far on full fence. So yeah, they're definitely not unhappy with going back to the mid, especially because they're the ones sat on their own yard and their own second point. But Garda, they're surely going to go for one last attempt, one last Hail Mary in, and it seems like Yawn will be the one taking the space so far, going in very, very high, going to try and land in onto Muller, onto Demo, but is deleted before even touching down.
Alright, still standing at a stalemate here. Yawn down once again. Things are staying exactly as they are. It looks like we will go back to another mid fight here. Not all the time. You get more than one golden cap per, or more one than one mid fight per golden cap. Certainly been a while since I've seen one of those.
Might get 3 if it goes to golden mid fight at this point because
Yeah.
I don't know. We've been in Granary now for what, like over 40 minutes and nearly 40 minutes. I'm just cardio maths in my head.
It's too late for a last ditch effort here, so I even could try going. No, they're never gonna cut the point in time anyone gotta.
Yeah, even if they drop the medic, Blue can just sit there and drop and make some difference, right? So it doesn't. Yeah, but yeah, at this point, I don't know who is going to get the round. There's 7 minutes left to play. We could have been here for 45 whole minutes and have no rounds go through. And honestly, it's kind of strange because seeing how much control Forfence had, particularly for that first half of regulation, I feel like a round should have come at some point, but it's just not been the way. And this could be last ditch saloon for both of these teams. Forfence really want to get these extra points on the board. They really want to at least tie this up to 3-3 for this series. And they've got one more mid fight at least where they can show their worth.
Oh, one match surviving already would make a huge difference here, as we've seen before, get you far across the map. Seems better on the survivability right now. Big bombs early onto Condor, put that into question right away, but do they escape this onslaught here at the end? They know exactly what plan B they need. They're quick to react, if nothing else, and plan B worked perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really nice take. It's the first win, I think, from Garda in this whole map. And yet, despite Condor going down, surfed around a fair bit, there's the collapse into Mula was really nice. And there's so many weak players on that low ground on the point afterwards that, you know, the sweep up was there from Garda. And one thing I want to note out, we've seen Condor earlier on this series with the crits has not had good use with it, because obviously he's been confined to that last point when they're on disad, but Condog has come back up with another crit streak. Medic's dying at the same time means the crit streak will come up about 10 seconds earlier than the stock Uber charge. So that's what's all eyes on now. All eyes on Condog, all eyes on Shappy or whichever other target may be receiving it over on the Garda side. This is coming up in about another 10 seconds.
Yeah, and it's all pressure on Shappy to deliver. Will have to take this crit streak forward as well, around the corner, into the combo as well. Hits exactly. Great start right away. You demoed down as well. Great stuff by the demo man. And all of a sudden, this is their game to take. They lost the soldiers. That is going to hurt covering ground here quite a bit. A lot of slash gone on point, but there's 8 seconds without most of the combos still on the side of that French team.
Yeah, it seems like Yalen's taking a fair bit of damage.
The cap
Evo QB, these scouts do so much good work, but is it going to be enough? The block is in. The block dies. They're going to get it. They're going to cap it. The crits is what mattered. Shappy, some phenomenal stickies across that second point. And yes, the scrap was there. I thought Nevo and Cube were going to do enough there at the end, but the damage just was not quite enough. And eventually, in one of the longest, most weird back and forth games I've seen in quite a long time, Garda are going to take it 4-2.
This might have been the least clutch game I've ever seen.
I'd agree with
many
that.
ways.
I'd agree with that.
It was entertaining, it was close, but it was the least clutch game of all time. Both teams just struggling so much.
Well, they both had these ad pushes with like a minute on the clock, and yeah, they both didn't go well.
Well, we went into this game thinking these teams have some questions to answer, some narratives to correct after week 1. I don't know if it did exactly that, but at the end of the day, Garda is going to be the winner here more than anything, and certainly shift the narrative away from themselves choking as much as map 1 struggled a little bit here and there. I mean, at the end, they held it together when they needed to, and that's really all that counts. They're getting at least more points out of this game tonight, 4 in total. It's a start to catch up again towards the top that Forfence will have to wait for another week. And only 2. It's not pointless, at least. Quite literally, they did get 2 in the end, but that is awfully little for a team this powerful, you'd think on paper.
Yeah, and especially when I'm trying to think back, because this Granary map has lasted forever. My mind is a blur thinking back at it, but I feel like for the first like 20 or so minutes, like we barely left the Garda last point. There was so much time where they were putting in so much pressure, and at that point, the teams that like looking to come high up in the division, they seem that you've got to make use of that. There's got to be some kind of, you know, there's some sort of threat, but it didn't feel like these sacks ever really came close. The best chances they had were almost in the transitions in from second, but yeah, eventually they get their chance later on in the game with that force out onto Condog, but that was it for the whole game. Really, they had all the ground control in regulation and all the space, but if you're not going to convert it into uber ads or severe player ad pushes into last, you're not going to win rounds.
Most certainly not. That is gonna cost, I think, both teams quite a bit here in the end. Garda still, I mean, they can be at least happy in some ways here to run away with this one. We talked about this before. They had some big steals of points last season they got away with, and this is one in a long list of Garda games that's going to be making great moves towards a very contested playoff tables here with the strong rosters around the season still waiting. I think currently up top still are New Panzer and Skella. I think it didn't drop anything as well. Random obviously winning last week too, so it's going to be interesting here. Who can keep this performance up for the rest of the season? And I mean, we'll find out soon. I think it's Yak against. I almost called them Auto's team. That's not true anymore. It's Alex's team. They are playing up next, I think, tomorrow or
Thursday, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah, there's that game, and then there's also the New Panzer against Danish Tyrant Regime, I think, is also happening on Thursday, but I don't think that's on. In my view, I think there was word of maybe getting a B stream for that, but we don't know. We can't promise anything yet. But
that game on Thursday is going to be very interesting as well. I mean, obviously, I think Yak's team already had a win, a close one too, maybe, but still stole that one just barely. That's, like you said, with this game, a game that you kind of have to win if you want to stay in playoffs. That's a game, matches I'm expecting to be pretty close. And if you just go out of that one empty-handed, it's just a huge point swing and a table that would be closely congested towards the middle at some point later down the line. We'll see what comes out of this one. I'm very curious how that goes.
Yeah, honestly, this season we're getting like a first look at some of these like newer teams, and obviously some of these roster changes as well. Like we see Garda picking up 2 new players, same with 4Fence 2. Like honestly, there's seeming like a lot of these teams are very, very closely matched. Like particularly from like the like 3rd through 6th kind of area, which is going to be really interesting later on. Obviously, like we've had some crazy like playoff scenarios previously where there's like basically everyone in the division can get playoffs or not get it coming into the final week, and I'm sure at this point we're sort of teeing up for something similar happening, which is always good fun to see with all the golden caps as well that we've had so far this season. Feels like nearly every map's been a golden cap. But I guess speaking of that, we've been going on for quite some time, so I think we'll let people go off, get to it. But do join us again on Thursday because we're going to have the aforementioned game between Yak and Samakot. So join us for that, and I hope you've all enjoyed it tonight. And Garda 4Fens was 4-2, so well played to both those teams, and we'll see you all on Thursday.